Are you hungry for more collaboration between us and the Talk of the Tribe podcast? Starving! Well, belly up to the table, Kobayashi, because we got a smorgasbord for you to feast on today. Delicious! Oh, disgusting, man. Hey, Bubba, where did we find this guy? The Goonies? Zack and Ryker are back and are looking to hit everything Bubba serves up out of the park. Don't let Ryker's love for Junie B. Jones books fool you. This young man is hungering for some sports trivia. And with his new interest in horse racing, Zack is as well-rounded of a sports fan as you will find. But it ain't all fun and games on this episode. We will find out if the boys can talk real issues as well. Squatters' rights, the Harrison Butker speech, and vaping, just to name a few. But if you want some words of wisdom, take it from Ryker. Forgiven people, forgive.
Gee, mister, that's really deep.
Wow. Even I'm excited to see what's in store in this episode. Here's your host, Bubba Seaman!
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back, part 2 with Zack and Ryker. If you missed their part 1, go back. We got into the whole broadcasting, podcasting, what high school life is like, what their interests are. They've actually accomplished some stuff, too. They shared that. It was a really good, fun episode, a good way to kick off the summer. That's why I wanted to have these high school boys on, just to kind of kick off summer a little bit. But now in this part 2, we're going to get into their segments. But before we do that, I just got to remind you, if you like the podcast, you need to help us out. You have to, wherever you're listening, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, you have to follow it or subscribe to it, like it. If you don't know when I drop episodes, it's usually every Friday. That's what I try to stick to, at least every weekend. Click the little bell. It'll send you a notification when I drop an episode. Okay? Leave a comment. That always helps drive up the thing. I'm learning more and more as I get into this stuff is there's this thing called an algorithm, and you have to break that algorithm. I mean, the only way to do that is by having more traffic, more views, more downloads, all that stuff. It's a crazy technological world, and I'm not smart about it, but I just know the more views, the more shares, the more you help me out, the more people I can reach with this thing. So if you want, follow our social media on Facebook and Instagram. We're always giving away free stuff just to try and drive people to our site to get traction for the podcast. But please feel free to buy something too. I am not getting rich off this thing. So you can buy a shirt, you can buy a hat, you can buy a mug. We got all kinds of giveaways going all the time. You can see our merch and stuff like that. So I think we were giving away Christian movies recently. I got copies of The Blind, Sound of Freedom, Woodlawn, probably one of the greatest true stories of football of all time. Let me just quiz you guys right away before we get into the actual trivia. Woodlawn. Do you know what record that they hold Alabama for the highest attended high school football game ever?
Like the number?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess like 70,000.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you're right up there. Very good.
I'm going to go 71,000.
I'm not going to give you the
That's
exact
cheating.
number.
That's cheating.
I'm not going to give you the exact. I'm just
Cheating.
saying, true story, Woodlawn versus Banks. I think it was late 60s, mid 60s when the schools were desegregating or whatever and starting to integrate. Yeah, that was it at a high school football game, and it was not the state championship. Something was going on there in that game because the black kids and the white kids were coming together instead of fighting.
Can we talk
they were
about
playing. It was awesome.
The best Christian movie, which is God's Not Dead?
God's Not Dead. I think that's in that 3-pack right there, isn't it? It's God's Not Dead, Indivisible, and Woodlawn.
Yeah.
So if you don't have your own DVD copy,
There's a Christian movie that I can't remember what the name is, but it was like a girl. It was based on a true story. Like a girl fell through a tree or something and had.
Oh yeah, Miracles from Heaven.
Miracles from Heaven. Yeah, that's right.
True story. Yeah.
VeggieTales.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The guy. VeggieTales is good for the kids when they're growing up.
VeggieTales is awesome.
But the guy who created it, Phil Vischer, he kind of turned a little.
To talk to tomatoes.
Anyway, yeah, follow our social media if you want a chance to win some of this stuff. So we get off track so fast around here. It's
Can we
crazy.
talk about how that was that's a tuned down like 2013 YouTube intro. Riker's really good at it. Riker, do your thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Talk of the Tribe podcast. Make sure you you hit that subscribe button and turn on the post notifications because you never want to miss another Talk of the Tribe podcast. Like the video so we can have more and more guests come onto this. Drop a comment so we know who you are and what you think about this podcast. Anyway, on to the show.
Wow.
See, that is why he runs our social media pages.
He's the hype man.
Yep.
He's a hype man. I like it. Okay, so we're going to start this episode off this time. I'm going to get into the segments. These are ones that these guys picked. They said they're ready for it, and we're going to lead things off with sports trivia. Now, I'm from a different generation than them, but as I'm finding out, the sports generation from my day and the music from my generation
Hasn't
seems to be
changed
holding
much.
up really well.
Riker with his Eminem.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we're going to jump right into this. I had some general sports trivia, but now that I know you guys are definitely football guys, I can relate to that. Let's see here.
I'm the real Slim Shady.
Football, baseball.
Okay. Let me give you... Let's see here.
By the way, Gavin Henry's new haircut makes
He
him
is
look like
Slim
the
Shady.
young Eminem.
He
he got a
Shady.
buzz cut and then continued to bleach it. That man is like 2002, 2001 Eminem, like young prime Eminem, where
Yeah.
he was just spitting fast.
Anybody says that it looks bad is lying to yourself. It looks awesome.
It just looks like Eminem.
Gavin's one of those kids
He's gonna
that
drop a rap album right now.
he always, like, he always says hi to me. He's always nice to me. Like, that, just so if any young people are listening, that goes a long way with most adults. Make eye contact. Say
what's
hi to them. Don't act like they're aliens just because they're your friend's dad. Okay? Try and show a little respect, and that'll go a long way with the grown-ups. Okay, sports trivia. We're going to go general at first, even though this is football, and then we'll go straight NFL after this. I picked this one because it caught my eye right away. In the 1980s, in quotes here, the Aints was a derisive, is that a word? Derisive? It should be like sarcastic or whatever.
That's what I thought.
It's a put down nickname for what NFC South team that has a fleur-de-lis in its logo? Oh, I shouldn't even have
The
said
Saints?
that part. That was bad. If I didn't say fleur-de-lis, did you know?
Yeah, because
Okay.
the Aints and Saints sounds
Yeah.
pretty similar.
Yeah, they literally
when you said NFC South, I was like, okay, it's the Saints.
Yeah. They wore brown paper bags over their heads. The
Sounds like
fans
some
did.
2016 Cleveland Browns stuff.
Yeah, well, that's where they got it from.
Yep.
It was when I was a kid in the 80s. It was insane.
Archie Manning, right? Yeah.
Archie
No.
Manning.
It was after him.
It was after him.
It was after
Okay.
him.
He was-
Archie Manning was good. He was just on a bad team. No, this was around the time of they had the NFL strike, the lockout or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So they had this replacement player come in, this Cajun
That was when
kid
a kicker
named-
won MVP.
Yeah,
Oh God!
yeah.
The Washington Redskins kicker. He won the Washington
Commanders.
football team
Well,
Commanders.
Back then it was Redskins. Yeah.
Kicker won the MVP award. It was the only time a kicker has won the MVP until this year because Torrey Taylor's going to win it. Mark my word, Torrey Taylor's winning the MVP. Rookie of the
Okay.
year.
Here's another general one for you: the Presidential Physical Fitness Test,
Oh boy.
which was active in the United States from 1966 to 2018, consisted of 6 exercises.
this.
How many can you guys name? How about that?
Sit-ups, pull-ups, sit and reach, shuttle, or
Yeah, the shuttle
yeah,
run.
the shuttle, the mile, and is it just how many is that? That's 5.
Yeah, I think you're at 5, which I'm going to give you credit for it because
What's the last
you got
one?
you got them
Is
all.
it the Fitness Grand Pacer test?
You got them,
His grand pacer test.
but they list pull-ups and curl-ups.
Oh, it's
You know what I mean?
separate?
That's
That's
just
the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mr. Adams does it as one thing.
Yeah,
So you do
so-
sit-ups or you do pull-ups, curl-ups, same.
Yeah, that's it. Come on, the real way to do a pull-up is
Wait,
to use your
curl-ups?
biceps.
Yeah.
Curl-ups,
Yeah.
you mean chin-ups, right?
Yeah, chin-ups.
Okay.
It says curl-ups, but to me that's a chin-up
Chin-up.
because you're using the bicep. Whereas when you go like that, you don't get to use the bicep as much, and it's more the back and shoulders.
It's
So
like your traps.
yeah, those are tough. I could never do one. I was always the short, fat kid in in grade school. I could never do one.
Sounds like me.
I felt bad. It's like I'm heavier than all you guys, but okay. Let me find one more, and then we'll move. Okay.
I'll let Riker answer since I answered the last 2. If he can't get it right, then I'll chime in.
Pistol Pete Maravich, 1970, and Shaquille O'Neal both won Player of the Year honors while playing hoops for what university?
For Shaq, let's see if I can remember where he
You
went.
have to know where Shaq went to
I
college.
know, I know,
Come
I know.
on. I would be okay if you didn't know where pissed off Pete Maravich went, but you have to know where Shaq went.
I mean, obviously, I'm biased. I picked the Saints question because I'm from Louisiana. I picked this question because I'm
From Dunkerton.
from
Louisiana.
I moved to Dunkerton when I was 13.
Imagine going from Louisiana
I
to
actually don't
Dunkerton,
know.
Iowa. Went to LSU.
LSU, Louisiana State. That's it. Okay, let's go football. That's not fair. Okay. Now we'll really see which team, and let's go back and forth.
Okay.
Let's rotate.
Riker goes first.
All right.
Okay.
I answered the last three.
Man, are these in easiest to hardest? Because this is pretty easy. Which
and
team?
Scroll down.
Which team won the first Super Bowl?
Green Bay Packers. No. It's
Stop. Stop.
Bears.
Stop.
These
You had
are
it right.
these
It's the
are
Green-
multiple choice.
It's the
but
Green Bay
yes,
Packers.
Green Bay Packers. Who holds the record for most career touchdowns? I'm hoping this is like up to date.
Like quarterbacks wise?
Nope. This is any
Oh.
position. No, not quarterbacks. Or yeah, it is. It's any position. Any position.
It will be a quarterback, though.
I'll say.
You think quarterback, but
I would go just because of what he done or what he did, and he held just about every record when he left. I'm gonna go Dan Marino. No?
no. A, Jerry Rice. B, Emmitt Smith. C, Randy Moss. D, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Jerry Rice, baby.
Jerry Rice?
See, I want to make sure.
Had more touchdowns than Tom Brady?
I'll
He
have
was sharing touchdowns with Roger Craig.
go ahead and Google it just to make sure this isn't like 3 years old and it didn't get Brady's like last year of touchdowns or something.
did Tom Brady have?
Or yeah, just say touchdown leader. I don't know. It's not giving me numbers. You got to find out.
Jerry Rice with 208.
Dude, think about it. After he left the Niners,
Emmitt Smith had 175. He was sharing touchdowns with Terrell Owens and Roger Craig.
and the funny thing is, who do you guys view? If I say who's the NFL's all-time leading rusher, who is it?
It's Emmitt Smith.
Emmett Smith.
Who's the best running back of all time?
Emmitt Smith.
Walter Payton.
Emmitt Smith.
Okay. Do you realize if this guy right here,
Oh my
Bo
God.
Jackson, had not got hurt, do you know how he would have?
Hurt with the voice crack.
How about Nick
It's
Chubb?
sensitive to me, okay?
Nick Chubb. If he didn't get hurt,
Chubb's
in week
winning me
2,
over.
Then he's on track.
Chubb is winning me over.
Dude.
But Bo was doing so
But-
much more than any other back.
But what's the reality that we live in? He got hurt,
He
didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So you can't say that.
No, I'm saying what if?
Well, yeah, what if?
What if he had a 10-year career? Do you realize how far ahead of Emmitt Smith he would have been? Emmitt Smith was good. His offensive line was good. I give that all them credit,
I mean,
and
right
I hate
behind
the
the
Cowboys.
Cowboys offensive line. So.
Right. And Emmitt had longevity because then he went to Arizona. I get all that.
What if Antonio Brown wasn't Antonio Brown? He might have a Hall of Fame chance.
He might have
But-
been the greatest receiver of all time. Like, he was on the pace
Yeah,
for it.
that was the biggest 180 of all time. But Bo's yards per carry and all that, it was just insane compared to anybody else. It was unreal.
I need to ask, because I'm not a Raiders fan. In your opinion, did he have a better career than Marcus Allen?
Bo?
Yeah.
No, it was cut short.
Okay.
No, Marcus Allen, Hall of Fame running back. Bo, only player to ever play in the NFL Pro Bowl and MLB All-Star game, and he's not in the Hall of Fame for either. His career was cut short. But when you go back and listen to people talk about him when he was playing and you watch the highlights, you understand there was nobody like him. If he had even just a couple more years, it would have been a different story. But he can't go down as a Hall of Famer in either, even though he was the best at a short period of time. It was insane. And when you read his book, it was the first book I had ever read. Bo Knows Bo, his autobiography or a biography. He was a decathlete in high school. Like, this dude was well-rounded, running, jumping, just sprinting, just muscle-wise. He was a freak, absolute freak, and it was all pre-steroids.
He wasn't in the Barry Bonds era.
No.
Barry
no.
Bonds is the best baseball player of all time.
Yes.
Nobody can tell me otherwise.
Nobody should, because he is.
Okay, let's go easy.
Riker's back to
We're
you.
back to you. How many football teams in the NFL?
Come on now. 32.
So you've gotten the first team to win the Super Bowl, and how many teams are in the NFL? And I got who has the most touchdowns of all time.
All right. Here's an easy one for you. Who has the most career rushing yards? Barry Sanders, Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson.
Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, we kind of already answered
He
that
broke
one.
that when he
Okay.
was on the Cowboys.
Which NFL team has never appeared in a Super Bowl? Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, all of the above.
What was the first option?
Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars.
All of the above.
Yep.
Nice. Very nice. Good job. Which player won NFL MVP and Super Bowl MVP in the same season? Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Kurt Warner, Peyton Manning.
Well, didn't Bart Starr do it first off? I think he did it once. But anyways, I would have to say because Patrick Mahomes has won 3 MVPs.
He's won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I think
Did he win it?
I think yeah.
You kind of answered it for yourself. Yeah, if he won 3 of those, chances are he won.
Yeah, because I remember there was a stretch where like the MVP of this league didn't win the Super Bowl, or just didn't win the Super Bowl at all. Yeah. Which is like Matt Ryan or
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I love Lamar.
Gosh, that's Okay, who was the first African American head coach to win a Super Bowl? Tony Dungy, Mike Tomlin, Lovie Smith, Dennis Green.
Come on.
It's kind of hard to put it in order.
Is it Mike Tomlin?
No, it should be.
I don't think it's Mike Tomlin because
it is.
Okay, throw Tomlin out. Now you're down to 3.
So
when did Lovie Smith coach before he coached the Texans? Dude?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, so it's not him.
Is it
he coached
head
the
coach?
Bears, right?
Did he?
Lovie Smith, yeah.
Well, he wasn't. He wasn't on the Bears when they won the Super Bowl because that was Ditka.
Okay.
Ditka, so we can throw him out.
No, it's way after that.
So Tony Dungy.
Tony
And
Dungy.
who's
Yep.
the other one?
He won it with
Tony Dungy.
He won it with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he built the Tampa Bay team that Gruden took over and won a Super Bowl with, and then he went to Indianapolis and won one. It was insane. Tony Dungy, I put him right up there with Ed Thomas. If you ever read any of Tony Dungy's stuff, he wrote the foreword to Ed Thomas's book, which I think is right on JJ's bedside table. I'm telling you, this guy is a character guy. Yeah, Tony Dungy is cut from the same cloth. He cares more about the person, the character, the individual. It's awesome.
It's a good book.
Same.
It is. Okay. Oh, that's way too easy. Okay. Who is the only defensive player to ever win the NFL MVP? Do you want the names or do you think you know it? I'll give you a bonus credit if you know it without the options.
My first thought went to Lawrence Taylor.
That's what I was thinking.
Out the gate.
That's what I was thinking. Lawrence Taylor, LT.
Yes.
Yeah, my first thought was Lawrence Taylor.
Didn't he get in 98?
I don't
No,
remember when
it was not in the 90s.
Yeah, no, that was when I was in high school. He was
It was in the 80s.
Yep. He was insane.
Dude, he was crazy.
Sometimes, he was also on drugs too, but my brother-in-law picked 56 when we were in 8th grade, and I go, 56?
LT.
Who's 56? And he goes, LT, baby. And I go, who's LT?
Lawrence Taylor.
And he looked at me like...
Now, who's the better LT? Lawrence Taylor
Tomlinson?
or LaDainian?
Are you kidding me?
Offense, defense, you can't compare. You can't. That's LT changed the game. LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk had already started to revolutionize that kind of scat back type thing.
LaDainian Tomlinson is the greatest fantasy football running back of all time.
Yeah. Speaking of fantasy football, were you serious last year when you said you left the state for a fantasy football draft, or you were missing episodes?
Sir.
What do you mean?
He missed 2 podcast episodes to go to a fantasy
I don't care.
football
I
drafts.
won that. I won it. I had Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff and Sam Laporta. I
He's
had
so
a Lions
dedicated
squad.
to fantasy football. It's crazy.
Where? Yeah.
I wasn't even in a league last year.
Where'd you leave the state to go to do a draft? Or was you like going on vacation, or you actually left the state for fantasy football?
Left the state.
Wow. Wow, that's impressive. Okay, and I suppose you probably told me you knew exactly who Puka Nacua was going to be. You're the only guy in the entire country who knew he was going to be a breakout.
I had him at week 2 after he dropped 2 touchdowns and 130 yards and first week against the Seahawks. I was like, this kid has something to do.
If anybody tells me they knew he was going to be that good, I'm going to tell you you're full of crap.
You're a liar.
You can watch his scouting report. You can listen to all
It
the
was awful.
Yes,
Cooper Kupp was my last round pick 2 years ago when he won the Triple Crown.
I also took Cooper Kupp the year he won the Triple Crown. I was very proud of that.
All right, well, let's squeeze a few more in here. Who is the youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl? Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson.
Come on, you should know this.
I think Big Ben did it his rookie year. It's not Russell Wilson.
You sure about that? Is it Big Ben?
It's Big Ben.
Yep.
Okay.
It's Big Ben. He talked Jerome Bettis into coming back for one more year.
So just to win this.
Yep.
Wasn't that the year they beat the Seahawks?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Rubbing salt in the wound there. Okay, let's see if I can find a good one here. No, that's too easy for these guys. Okay, who was the first? Are we up to you?
Yeah.
Who was the first player in the NFL to throw for over 5,000 yards in a season? Do I got to give you the names?
Well, it's too early to be like the Bart Starr or Sammy Baugh.
Correct.
Or like those guys. My first idea went to Dan Marino again because I think he was the guy who started to revolutionize the whole quarterback thing. Because you still had guys like Fran Tarkenton or Archie Manning who were still running quarterbacks. So I'm gonna go Dan Marino.
Dan Marino.
Tom Landry got 4,999 one year.
Not Tom Landry. That was Roger Staubach.
Staubach for Landry's
Landry.
Cowboys.
Tom Landry was a coach, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Staubach was
Landry's
a quarterback.
Cowboys.
I get those
yes.
two mixed up.
Yes.
Because if you remember the first year, Staubach and I believe one other guy, I can't really remember his name, they shared the quarterback spot. So, like, in the middle of the game, they'd switch.
Yeah.
Like, every other play or stuff like that. It
Yep.
was crazy.
Yep. It was a different league back then. Okay, this is the last one. We're going to end on this one.
All right.
So we can move on, and this one I take personal pride in. This one's from my buddy Cole in the office at work, who was sending me some inappropriate sports stuff on our emails and Teams chat. Which team has lost the most Super Bowls of all time?
The Minnesota Vikings.
Buffalo Bills.
Wow. I would have said Bills. I would have gone there. It is not. It is the Denver Broncos.
Let's go.
Thank you. Yes. Eat it, Broncos.
Good job.
Eat it. Eat it.
No,
okay.
but I always take pride in the Vikings because Caleb's a Vikings fan, so I love to rub it in that he hasn't won a Super Bowl in ever. And every year he's always like, this is our year. He's starting to sound like a Cowboys fan.
Oh, man. Yeah, all my in-laws are Vikings fans, so
Boo.
I gotta. Hey, I will tell you this. What was that? It was late 90s going into the early 2000s when the league
Purple
was when they
People
were no, that was before then.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was,
Purple People Eaters were like 60.
yeah, that was defense.
Bounty Gate.
When the offense was changing and everyone started throwing the ball, when Manning and all that, dude, Culpepper to Moss, it was changing the game. That was fun football for me to watch.
Also, he had Brett Favre. He
Yep.
came there for like 2 years.
Doug Martin was him. Doug Martin back in the day.
Doug Martin was a running back, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doug Flutie.
For the Doug Martin for the
Flutie was like a
Buccaneers
mixture of
underrated.
both.
I was like, Flutie was, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Doug
Okay.
Williams.
Now here's
Yeah,
where
Doug Williams too.
here's where you can't be wrong. This is your opinion, and we're just gonna go. I mean, I'll give you a second to think about it, but we're not gonna spend a ton of time thinking about it. And we'll start with Zach. Best quarterback of all time, if you can narrow it down to one.
Okay, well, just because he broke my heart, I'm gonna say Joe Montana.
Okay.
I know Riker's laughing over here because we all know the answer. The answer is Tom Brady.
Yes, he's the
But
GOAT.
that man took my heart right out of my chest and just ripped it and threw it away. Like it was the most. I think it's the most painful football game I've ever watched.
You talking about the Super Bowl, the Seahawks?
Yep, Patriots Super Bowl.
That's not Tom Brady's fault.
That wasn't his
I know,
fault.
but he still was the quarterback, and they won. I hate Malcolm Butler for
Bro,
it.
it wasn't fourth down. Run the ball one more time.
I know.
That's it. I mean, not to
You
bring it
think
back up again,
You don't
but
think I was screaming at the
don't blame
TV?
Tom Brady for that.
I am gonna blame him because he was the quarterback of that team.
Hey, preacher, choir. It was a fumble. Okay, if you know which game I'm talking about, it was a fumble. The Patriots dynasty doesn't start. Okay, in New England,
It was a fumble.
It
yeah.
was. I know. So
and
I'm
Tom
with
Brady.
you.
Tom Brady went on to say like a decade or so later that it was a fumble.
Yeah. Oh, him and Woodson did a little thing together
Yeah.
or whatever, and they replayed.
And then he was
it.
like, it was a fumble. Yeah. And then Woodson was like, so it's a fumble.
It
Tom
is.
Brady-
It is now.
Tuck
Yeah.
rule.
Stupid tuck
Tuck
rule.
rule
Yeah.
is awful.
Yeah.
No, but I would have to say, just for my own sake, I say Joe Montana or
Okay.
Dan. If Dan Marino would have won a Super Bowl or two, he had a serious.
I feel bad
you
for the
know,
guy. It was incredible.
And he was one of the guys who lost to Montana
Yep.
in that run. And I think if Dan Marino wins one or two Super Bowls, there's a big argument for him.
Sure.
Because he left the game with every record imaginable.
Yep. And we thought no one was going to touch him, and then like right after he leaves,
Manning comes in and breaks all
yeah,
of them.
the league just changes to this pass first league.
Yep.
Marino was kind of by himself. Okay, we're also gonna go a few other positions. So start thinking. Quarterback, best of all time, Ryker.
Tom Brady easy.
Tom Brady.
There's
easy.
no question about it.
So now I'm
Why?
going to start with you on this next one and give Zach some time to think. How about running back? And I'm not saying this is your opinion. So if you say Emmitt Smith is the best running back of all time, I'm going to say he's got the most rushing yards. I get that, but
Rashad Penny.
Wow. And he held a straight face for like half a second.
Rashad Penny.
I think, call me crazy. I don't want to like.
It's hard to like not think fantasy terms either. It's hard to
Yeah.
think, okay, scope of the entire history of the NFL, best running back of all time. A lot of people won't move off of Jim Brown, even though he left early and all that stuff.
Technically, he was a fullback.
Okay.
So
Running back. So I'll
As
take
in
anybody
general.
in the back.
Mike Allstott.
I truly believe it's Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
For
You don't
me-
really think Mike Allstott, do you?
No.
I love Mike Allstott.
I
That's
love
why I
him
wore
too.
40.
He's
You know,
the
he was
A train.
best.
The
Yes.
A train. For me, it's Walter Payton.
Okay. There you go. Two good answers right there.
I think his off-the-field impact was leaps and bounds. It's kind of like one of those Jackie Robinson things.
Thanks, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those Jackie Robinson things. You know, on the field, he was a great player. And obviously, Walter Payton was one of the best running backs of his time.
Yep.
But off the field, just immaculate.
Oh, as a
Obviously,
person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Russell Wilson. Even though he betrayed us, he's still one of the greatest guys in the league.
I think that's the one time I've
Mm-hmm.
cried when I saw an NFL trade happen. That was my hero.
Yeah.
He was my hero
I
for
cried.
years.
Ask any of my friends, especially Kipton. He was sitting right next to me. Our student teacher, he looks on his phone, Russell Wilson just got traded to the Broncos. And I got up from my seat, and my teacher started yelling at me, and I told her to shut up.
Yikes. Where is he now? Because Denver didn't work
Steelers.
out.
Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
With Justin Fields.
Okay.
That'll be
That's
interesting.
right. That's right. The double thing. Okay.
That'll be interesting.
Okay. All right. So for the sake of time, we're going to keep moving here. That was good. That was fun. For my own personal enjoyment, in one sentence, starting with Zach, describe Bo Jackson. One sentence. I was going to say one word, describe Bo Jackson, but I'll let you say one sentence.
A great player whose career was stolen from him.
Excellent. Excellent.
Don't stop running until the whistle blows.
That's right. That's right. They say if he wasn't so strong of a runner that if you go back and watch the tackle that injured him, his hip wouldn't have come out. If you watch it, he was so strong. His body kept moving forward when that guy did the hip drop tackle or whatever. Most running backs would have folded, but he had so much power, his upper body kept going, and so he was his own worst enemy, I guess. But he does this ride in Alabama every year for charity called Bo Bikes Bama. I will do it one day with him. I'll meet my idol, even though they say he's not my idol. I guess I don't believe in idols. That's not a good thing. He's just another guy, but he's pretty cool. So let's see here. Favorite movies or books?
Can I say TV show?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
right now it's Suits.
Suits.
Do you ever watch Suits?
Uh-uh.
It's a New York City lawyer based.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Okay.
Fantastic show.
Okay.
My favorite character is Harvey Specter, who is played by Gabriel Mock,
Wow.
something like that. If I had to go movie wise, I'd probably say Top Gun. Take your choice.
The new one or the 80s?
Take your choice. I don't care.
Oh,
They're both a fantastic. In my opinion, I think the second one's better than the first one, just because of the graphics and the actual stuff.
I was worried about the second
I was worried
one,
they were
and
gonna mess
came
it up.
out great.
I was worried they were gonna mess it up. It was gonna be too cheesy. It was gonna
And
have-
remember, before that one dropped, like the trailer had come out, and then COVID hit, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna have to wait because they won't release that when no one can go to theaters." And I was like, that trailer was one of the coolest trailers ever. And then we had to wait like 9 months for
To
it
get
to come
the
back
movie.
out. Yeah,
And
it was really good.
I went to see it the weekend it came out, and I was like, "This is gonna be awesome."
Yeah.
And I was one of the people who hadn't really seen the original. When I went to go watch the second one, I'd seen clips and I knew the stuff. Obviously, Great Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
I had heard the stuff. I didn't even know Goose died in the first one
Oh,
when I went to go watch the
man.
second one. So when I'm watching this, I'm like, these
What's the
callbacks.
beef with them?
Yeah, and then I realized, and then after I get done, I watch all the clips from the old one. I'm like, oh,
Dang, man, that's rough.
I mean, I wanted to see it because Top Gun, I always heard about it, and obviously my favorite song, and one of my favorite songs is Danger Zone. So
Yeah, Danger Zone, good. All right, be thinking of books, movies. Riker, best movies of all time, or TV shows, I guess.
Baywatch with The Rock,
Oh my
Alexandra
God.
Daddario, and Zac Efron.
nobody watched that movie.
Don't matter. It's
It
still
was
awesome.
so bad.
It may be 1 star on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's my favorite
It's
movie.
got like a
Hey,
like a 2% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm not gonna vouch for Rotten Tomatoes. I won't. Even though I think that movie probably is pretty low all time. Not that I've seen it, but Rotten Tomatoes will do. They'll take movies like some of these we got right here. What was the last one they put on there? I can't remember. And they will intentionally have people try and get a low rating if it's like The Blind or whatever. They'll give it a terrible score. And it's like, no, these movies are awesome.
It's
so
just
I don't buy
person's.
it.
It's one person's opinion.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
It's like the Dave Meltzer like WWE match reviews. Like it's a guy's opinion.
Right. And even then, at the year-end movie award shows and stuff like that, like whoever wins best, I guess it's becoming more common now.
The
but
Grammys.
usually, like the best picture of the year isn't even a movie we'd like to go see with our buddies ever. Like it's usually some movie that's just kind of out there or whatever. So
Like
I don't
La
go back.
La Land.
Yeah, exactly. Or
I still don't know what that is.
I don't know. Okay, books. Favorite books. What's a book that sticks out in your mind that you've read? I know you already said Sacred Acres, a great book, and I
Yeah.
recommend it to every young person.
442. So 442 was a book based off of the Japanese Americans who fought in World War II for the United States.
Okay.
There was one guy who he lived in America as an immigrant and then got put into a camp because of he lived in California. And after Pearl Harbor, obviously...
He was Japanese?
Yep.
Okay.
And he goes to this camp, and then he's like, you know what? I'm going to fight for America. And his family's like, what are you doing? But he's like, I'm going to go do it. So he does it. He goes to boot camp. He gets through it. He goes to the, like, Italian, like, picture there. He goes to fight through that way. And he works his way up to the, European... place or Germany kind of stuff, and he's involved in D-Day, and he goes through the Battle of the Bulge, and he goes through this one battle where he's taking a lot of enemy fire. They call it the Hill of Nine, or I believe it's called the Hill of 916.
Okay.
It's a really famous battle. America got destroyed. They lost so many men trying to win this one hill. Mm-hmm. And during this battle, he's charging up, and all of a sudden this wave of Germans come across, and his own friend that he made during this whole time that's been with him since day one of boot camp is taking big enemy fire, and his friend ends up dying during this, but he takes a grenade and a shot at him and survives, and he tries to throw a grenade, but it explodes as he's throwing it, and it hurts him so badly. He comes back, he gets the Medal of Honor, he gets a Purple Heart, all this stuff. It was a really great book. I think it was one of the books where I was like, wow.
True story or no?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
I can look it up
Cool.
quick, but-
Yeah. What about you, Riker? Any books that stick out?
Oh yeah, 100%. Mine's probably Junie B. Jones and her big fat mouth.
What's the stuff you come up with?
No, it's a real book. It's what I read when I was a little 4-year-old,
Okay.
and that's probably the last book I've ever read on purpose.
Okay.
It's a good book.
I gotcha.
From what I've seen, I can't find that it is a true story, but there's a bunch
Doesn't have
of
to be.
there's a bunch of true stories about it, about that kind of stuff. So
Zach,
Yeah.
you shared a story about yours. I'll share a story about mine. It's about Junie B. Jones. She's like 6 years old, and she went to school, first grade for the first time, and she was super loud, and her teacher yelled at her a lot, and she didn't like school anymore.
Because she got yelled at all the time for talking too much.
Yeah, sounds like me. So me and her relate.
That's the connection.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Grace brought Friday, their last day of school. She brought a cake to school, a small cake that said, "Sorry, we talk too much," to give to her teachers. Like, okay, well, at least you're honest, I guess. I don't know. Okay, let's have this one's more fun. Favorite place to eat. This could be restaurant, fast food, either or. And I know that's a tough one.
As a lineman, that's tough.
Or you can pick one each. You can pick like a sit-down restaurant with the family or whatever, and fast food. Because sometimes that's just different.
How about this? I'll pick one that's more mainstream, and I'll pick like a local place, or kind of
Okay.
like a small town place. So if I had to go mainstream, I'm gonna say Steak and Shake.
Really?
Yep.
Is that one in
That
Waterloo
is-
still open?
It's
No.
so good.
No, that's my favorite. Easy.
It's so good.
Really?
It is so good.
It has been around forever, and I've never tried it.
You
I've
need
never-
to.
The closest
Go.
one is in Coralville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Waterloo.
No,
They
it's-
closed.
Oh, the one by Hy-Vee in Waterloo's done.
I also I had it in Indianapolis, and then I went and had it again in Louisville.
Nice.
Both times I've had it, fantastic.
Okay. What about you?
Steak and Shake in McDonald's.
Okay.
I would say like sit down place or like a local place. Oh, that's rough. Obviously the obvious answer is Costa's.
Yeah, Costa's is good.
It's good. I would say like, man, one place that really stuck out to me. I went to the pier or one of there's a lot of piers off the coast of California.
Okay.
There was a place there called Woody's.
Okay.
And it is a Ford. You know the Ford Woody, right?
Yeah.
It's like a car.
The wood panel on the side. Yeah.
It was all Woody themed, Ford Woody themed restaurant. So good.
Yeah.
They sell this like.
There go the dogs.
Yeah.
It's officially an episode now.
They sell these like Mexican style like colas. Have you ever heard of Jarritos?
Is it in the glass bottles?
Yep.
Yeah.
So good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They sell that there. It's kind of like their own little drink thing.
I got you.
It was very good. But there's a lot of stuff in Iowa too that is so good. Obviously, my favorite is Hickory Park.
Oh, yes.
Hickory Park is so good. I cannot begin to imagine a world where Hickory Park doesn't exist.
So look, here's the deal with Hickory Park. We went to Ames. We were going down for the Thomas the Train ride. When Timothy was little.
The train ride.
Thomas the Train ride, and we were going to stay in Ames because that's in
Park.
Boone. And it's our first time down there. And so we're staying at this hotel in Ames, and my wife asked the lady at the front desk, she goes, hey, where's a good family place to eat? Obviously, all of our kids are little. We don't want to go to some place that, isn't family friendly. She goes, hands down, Hickory Park. She goes, go right now. Get back out on the highway, go down, get off at that exit, whatever. We get there. Baylor University, the Baylor women's basketball team is getting off the bus and going in. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be like a 2-hour wait. Let's just go in and see, because we've never been there. We didn't realize it was like as long as a football field or whatever.
It's so big.
We get in there. She goes, yeah, it could be half hour. I'm like, half hour? Like an entire college sports team just got off the bus. It's Friday night or whatever. She goes, here, take the little buzzer thing and go sit down, watch some cartoons with your kids, how they got the little TV set up.
Yeah, they have TVs in there too.
Dude.
So
it
while you
literally
wait.
was like 25 minutes. I was like, how did they get us in? And so, yeah, anytime we're even thinking about going past Des Moines, it's like, yeah, we're hungry. So
Hickory Park,
we got to go to Hickory Park
it's
for
the
sure.
best place in the world. I went there for the first time 5-6 years ago with my dad and one of his friends.
Yep.
And I have vowed to always go back there when I go there. It is so good.
It's good. Get the sampler platter.
Ice cream too. The ice cream there too is good. The shakes and stuff. It's so good.
It's good.
I'll let Ryker go.
He said Steak and Shake at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You got a restaurant?
Restaurant, Carlos O'Kelly's, but
there you go.
I'm not getting Mexican food. I'm getting the kids' pizza with fries. People do.
Okay.
You call me crazy for this?
Hey, we're the same.
What do they say?
Now.
Do they call it kids pizza or do they call it quesadillas?
Kids
Isn't
pizza.
quesadilla?
It is literally a kids
We
pizza.
are the same because you know the place, the Mexican place in Waverly, right? Not El Sol, but the one out by Walmart.
Tapatios? Or, yeah.
I went there. Caleb will back me up on this. I went there and got a burger.
You go to a Mexican place and get a burger?
Yep.
I go to a Mexican place and get a pizza.
Okay,
like,
but
even
did the
one in
pizza look
Ojai.
like American pizza or did it look like a quesadilla?
It was an American pizza.
Oh my goodness. That's
Which
weird.
isn't even American because it's Italian.
Well, that's what I meant. Okay. Did it look like regular pizza? Is what I meant.
And burgers aren't American either. They're Sherman, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Because the first burger was made in like Hamburg, Germany, if I remember right.
Lariana puts up with me. She does not realize, or I think she's starting to. I'm like 3 years old. Like
still going.
Maybe this is why.
like, I do get off of the kids menu.
This is why I don't have a girlfriend yet. People see is like, man, this guy gets a burger at a Mexican joint. I don't want to hear that.
I'm not going to say anything about weird food because I'm from the South. But like, if you ask
crawfish,
if you ask Ben and Caleb about the crawfish boil that I do here every year, you tell them, like,
it's
or
good?
you ask them, and I'll let Caleb and Ben
I need to go.
talk about it.
I need to see. I need to.
Caleb didn't want to leave.
I've never had crawfish before.
Oh, but it ain't just crawfish. I throw when you do a
Boudin
crawfish
or
boil,
boudin?
boudin. We don't throw that in the boil. That's a delicacy. We'll serve that. But in there we do half corn on the cob, little red potatoes, all that stuff. Them guys loved it.
I need to try crawfish. I've never had it before.
It's all in the boil. It's not the crawfish itself that's good. It's who's doing the boil. So, okay, last one. Christmas music, yes or no? It's a simple answer.
Yes.
All year or just during Christmas?
All year.
Christmas season. I mean, I can appreciate the enthusiasm because we usually do start just a little early. I mean, we start the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah. I am not for starting Christmas before Thanksgiving. You are taking away from Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. But some people are just anti-Christmas music. They think that's horrible.
I start December 26th.
The Christmas class.
Like, Christmas starts for him the day after Christmas again.
Yep.
I get it.
Okay, whatever.
Man. Well, you're 3. You said you're 3.
Yeah,
so
you're
I get
3,
it.
so that makes sense. I think I'm for the classic Christmas.
Oh, I love the classics.
The classics Christmas is okay with me. If you want to do decorations, you want to put your trees up, who am I to tell you no? Just not before Thanksgiving. And I don't want to hear I'm okay hearing Mariah Carey on the Thanksgiving Day parade sing All I Want for Christmas Is You, and then we all go home. I'm okay with that. But, like, when it's Christmas during Halloween, I don't want that. I don't want that. No, I don't want.
And I don't even like Halloween at all.
I don't like Halloween either. But I like Thanksgiving. I like stuffing my face full of food and football all day, sleeping. I don't care. It's cool. Football on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
I always said if I ran for office, not that you have the power, but like I would try and pass legislation so you could not do like Black Friday sales before Thanksgiving. Because it used to be they started on Friday and that was it. And then it went to like Thursday night. And people were ditching Thanksgiving dinner to go shopping. And then when it went online, it's like
I say we make the Iowa-Nebraska Black Friday game a national game where it's like that's the only game that can happen that day, because that is where you find what truly makes American football is Iowa-Nebraska Black Friday.
Though they've been saying for years that the day after the Super Bowl should be a national holiday because more people call into work that day. Not that you guys get that, but like, do you like going to school the day after the Super Bowl? It's probably,
no, because I stay up till like midnight watching it.
It should be a day off. Okay, that was fun. Those were the fun segments. And now to the listeners, we're about to prove to you that just because they're in high school, that doesn't mean they don't have heads on their shoulders and they can't think about, serious issues. We're going to talk about a few different things here. We're at like the 43-minute mark, so we got some time. This one was for me to ask you. This isn't more, I want to see your guys' opinion. I actually need to understand this. What is up with vaping? What
vaping? All right.
So
let's read.
All right. I have. This is my opinion. If you are purposely vaping and you shouldn't be doing it anyway. I think drugs are the stupidest thing that you could ever do.
It's
like
the
anything
dumbest.
Ever. Okay. So let's go into a mind of a vapor right now. So I'm 14. Some people do it in schools' bathrooms. They'll go into the school bathrooms, they pull out their vape, and they hit it. Hey guys, look at my strawberry air that I'm pulling out that I just got for $75 from my dad.
It has loads of nicotine in it that can ruin my life. You're putting chemicals into your lungs. Like, why would you do that?
There is zero benefit at all. It's like
none.
Even when people like go out and drink alcohol, I don't understand it. Like, people like being drunk. All that you do, there's nothing good that comes out of it. What is your benefit?
Yeah.
I think it's so dumb. I have 3 bracelets on here that say stay sober. And stay sober or else, Santa says stay sober, and stay sober, you idiot. That's all 3 here that they say. And that's something that I will forever be on. Like, even last night at the wedding, like, I drank a little bit of water, spicy water, and I went into the bathroom and I was extremely mad at myself. I was like, what are you doing? This is not who you are. Yeah. You're going to ruin your life.
I would say, hang on, before you keep going on that, I would say that vaping, smoking, doing all that stuff, doing drugs is way worse than drinking. Okay. I would just say that. Not saying that drinking is good, because I don't think it is. It's not. But I'm just saying it's a lot. It's not as bad.
Okay.
Because vaping has serious effects, especially with your lungs. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, alcohol does terrible things to your liver. That's bad.
Right.
But you don't see the immediate effects that vaping does. And, have you seen the pictures of lungs with, people who got tar all over?
Yeah, I've seen the smoker's lungs.
Yeah, it's so bad. Yes.
See, that's what I thought. when vaping first came out, I thought it was like an alternative to smoking, no nicotine. I thought it was like mist, like water mist.
They make that now, where like it's like that you have your like little thing that imitates a cigarette or something, and it's just flavored air.
Okay.
There's no nicotine, no nothing. It's just flavored air. I think it's called like.
I thought that's what it.
No,
so no, there's actually harmful stuff in the other one.
Yeah, it's a product called Fume, I believe. I've heard about it. I don't know what it is. Obviously, I don't have it. I don't know what it is, but I've just heard about it from other people. That it's just flavored air.
Okay.
So
if they came out with something like that wasn't harmful and it was meant to kind of help cigarette smokers, give them something to do.
It was with the habit of doing this.
But still, putting moisture in your lungs, like that's still not the best thing to do either. Like I swam for a while and I started understanding, like the more I read, like you get too much water in your lungs, that's a bad deal. Okay, yeah, I was going to ask your generation about that because I know it's a problem.
You will find many opinions on that. I'm the opinion of if you vape, never speak to me again because I will have a terrible opinion of you. And honestly, the people that vape, obviously, I'm not going to share any names.
Sure,
but the people that do, I have a hate for them. Hate is a big word, but it is the right word. I do not like them. I will not
because they're harming themselves.
Because
you'd rather them not do it.
Yeah. If they come up to me and said, "Hey, I just like quit vaping," I will like give you a hug and say,
"There we go.
Find Jesus."
There we go.
I would kind of say the same thing. If I know you're doing it, which I'm not gonna say who, but if I know you're doing it, I'm not gonna say I hate you. I'm just gonna say I don't think what you're doing is right.
Yeah, it's a poor choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've had people in my family, my grandpa, who I loved so dearly, died when I was 1 because of complications with he had his veins were kind of thin. They used a blood thinner, and he had an internal bleeding and died in his sleep because of what he was doing with smoking and all that. And that was when my grandma quit because she realized how bad it was. It's so bad, and I'm not gonna sit here and never talk to you again, or take you out of my life completely. I still care about you. I still think you're a great person, but you're just making a bad choice.
Sure.
And you need to think about that choice.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to sit here and make the choice for you. You just have to think about it. That's all I'm asking. And if you make the right choice and you quit and you get your life back on track, perfect. We can go back to what we were doing before. But it's just a bad choice, and there isn't any benefit to it.
Okay. Yeah, that's.
And neither is drinking, anyways. It's all negative.
Yeah, you drink to alter your state of mind, and that's never a good thing.
And most don't go that hard all the time.
Right.
Obviously, I can say, I know people who drink and stuff like that, but they don't go for that just for that purpose.
Yeah.
They do it while they talk to other people.
Yeah, social.
Socialize a little bit. It's not to get the feeling of being drunk all the time.
Gotcha.
People that, I have great role models in my life, and I think I would not have this opinion at all if it weren't for them.
Okay.
And they told me if I ever touch any of that stuff, they will not be happy with me.
Yeah.
And they taught me, all their ways, and I appreciate that. And most of them are college kids. They go to parties, they don't do any of that stuff because they know that there's no benefit.
Sure. All right. Well, look at that. See, you ask, you go straight to the horse's mouth. You ask the young kids. Obviously, vaping is a big problem with kids their age, so that's why I wanted to ask.
Don't vape.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Before we get to the two main serious ones, we'll try and go through this one quickly. Okay. Iowa football has been on a roller coaster. We've rode the Ferentz train. We're past that era.
Winning.
Okay. We can all agree last year at the beginning of the season, it did look like a new team. That first, game and a half?
It looked like we were going to do a lot.
Yes, okay.
I was so excited.
End of the season?
Still sucks.
We're done. Okay, so the specific thing I want to talk about for just quick couple minutes, the Caden Proctor drama. When we got the first letter of intent from him, I was so happy because I knew we got his teammate, Xavier Nwampa. And then I was like, we got Proctor. I would, out of either of them, I guess, even though what's his name was probably a little more highly recruited as a lineman, I'm like, this guy's the best one. Yeah, I think so.
So I have a little thing here. My dad's a really good friend from high school, Randy Schumacher. Shout out to him. He used to work at the news channel down in Altoona.
Okay.
Channel 13. he was really close with Wampa's parents, with him, his family. I got to meet Wampa a few times, say what's up. He was really cool. I saw him actually at the Unidome.
Okay.
During one of the state games and stuff like that. Really cool dude. And he seemed like an Iowa guy. Yeah. At heart. You could tell from him that he was an Iowa guy. And when I first heard about Proctor, I was like, this is perfect. Like, our line, what lineman doesn't want to come to Iowa? Yeah. Iowa has a history of producing NFL Hall of Fame linemen. Yeah. And he would have been the next one to come out of that. Yeah.
That's an autographed gallery football. Right
there you go.
The black one.
There you go. And it seemed like a match made in heaven for him to come to Iowa. He was from Iowa. He was an Iowa guy. He did all this stuff. And then to see the night before signing day, he flips his commitment to Alabama, I was like, no, this is not happening. Yeah, and that was when I was like, we need to get rid of NIL. Like, immediately. It's just so bad. Yeah. But now we have NIL to thank for the new college football game that's coming out. So, there you go.
Yep. Okay, but now flash forward to now. Saban retires. What happened at the end of that? He transfer portal. Yep. He actually comes back. And I'm thinking, yes.
He comes back to watch Caitlin Clark hoop and then dips. And leaves.
Did you guys welcome him with open arms like I did? Like, I was glad to have him.
They gave him the NIL stuff, too. Yeah. They gave him the NIL reserves and all that stuff. He came in, got the NIL deal, watched Caitlin Clark hoop for a day, and then left.
Why did he leave again? Has anybody heard any rumblings? Why did he transfer portal back to Iowa and then back to Alabama? I have heard nothing.
Okay, I think the big thing is, if you look at how many people left Alabama when Saban left, I would say when Kalen DeBoer came in from Washington to coach Alabama.
Don't talk about that in front of me, please.
Sorry. I'm going to have to because it's part of my theory. My theory is that he was trying to cling on to anybody who was willing, even just the slightest, to come back to Alabama. And I think he was willing to offer Ken Proctor the bag to come back. Way
so you
more.
Think it was money? Okay.
Way more than. Yes, it's 100% money. It has to be. Money.
Okay, here's my problem with that. If it was about the money, they never would have let him leave. You know what I mean? The money people in Alabama never would have let him get out the door.
But they let so many others leave.
Proctor didn't get as much to come to Iowa, and he still left.
What if their bag was in other people before they talked to those other people and said, "Nope, we don't want anything to do with you"? What if, let's say, they have 2-3 other recruits leave, and that are arguably better or more important than Proctor? They go talk to them and say, "Hey, we want you to come back. We'll give you this to come back."
All right.
Well, let's say they go to Texas. They get the bag from Texas. That's their only guy.
It frees up cash to get Proctor back.
So then they're like, well, this is all we have left. Let's go to him, who is Caden Proctor. Okay. They're like, we're going to give you the bag. Come back. All right, so where's the dotted line?
We'll hear about it at some point. But now my stance is I'm officially done then. Now I don't want him. Now
I don't want him back.
I wish him the best, but I really wanted him in the beginning. I even wanted him when he came back, but now I'm done. So I wanted to see where you guys stood on that.
Right, I'll let Ryker talk since he hasn't said anything. You can talk about the drama.
Would you accept him if he came back? If this summer, if he said that was stupid, I'm coming right back.
I would.
You're going to accept him?
Yeah.
Why?
He's good enough. I mean,
because he's good. That's it.
If he can make us better, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers. People didn't like it, but he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't come crawling back to New England 2 years later.
No.
And Robert Kraft is still mad about that.
Yeah, Brady defended Kraft at the roast thing. I heard about that.
And then apparently there was heat against him and Belichick in backstage of the roast. Him, Kraft and Belichick.
Oh, really? Kraft and Belichick. Okay.
I really just think that if he was gonna flip and come back, why even do it?
Yeah.
Because it's I don't even care anymore. Because we have other people who are willing to stay, and that questions his commitment, his loyalty to Iowa.
Yeah.
If he stays for 1 year and makes us better, I don't care. He can leave.
I'm kind of with Ryker. I would take it. I'm not going to celebrate him anymore. That's it. But
I wouldn't be happy. But at the end of the day, who am I to say he has to leave again?
Yeah.
Who am I to say he can't come back to Iowa?
Yep.
He can come back if he wants. I don't care.
Okay, we're all just a bunch of homers here, but okay. Now,
Go Hawks.
Here's where it gets real. You guys are in high school, and this has been a fun episode, but I want to see, okay, do you guys pay any attention to, like, grown-up issues at all?
Yes.
Depends what kind of grown-up issues we're talking about.
Okay, so we won't spend a ton of time on this one because I want to get to the Harrison Butker speech, and that's what we're going to finish with.
Okay.
Squatters' rights. Do you know anything about squatters' rights?
Squatters?
Yeah, you know what a squatter is?
I looked this up
I don't.
a while back.
Like people that squat? Like Garrett Miller?
No, not
That's what you think that is?
No.
He can squat like 6 plates.
Squatting is when you live where you take up residency somewhere that you don't have ownership or a lease agreement to.
So
You
this
squat.
says Iowa squatters' rights and advisor or in adverse possession laws. It says anyone who occupies land or property without the legal permission of the rightful owner is considered a squatter in Iowa.
Okay. So what's happening, if now you know what it is, what's happening, and it's happening all over the country, and it's happened even in our local town. I'm not going to give any details, but it's happened. I've witnessed it. It's awful. Somebody takes up residence somewhere illegally, whether the place was vacant for a day or they were legally there at one point and then their rental agreement broke and they just stayed and didn't leave. How long do you think it should take to get them out of there if they're legally not supposed to be there?
30 days.
You think it should be 30 days?
30 days. If you don't leave, then we start with law enforcement getting involved.
I'll give them 5 days. Getting enough to get their stuff out.
Okay.
That's why I said 30 days, because
Okay.
what if it's a big business?
Okay, here
Get more.
we're talking
people.
residential stuff. We're talking residential
So like
stuff.
like people's houses.
Homes, apartments,
Oh.
things like that. No, we're not talking
Oh,
businesses.
48 to 72 hours.
Okay. Now you're getting close. Okay, if someone if you move in, if I'm gone, let's say I go to Louisiana for a week, okay, and somebody gets in here and I come home and I say, "What do you do? Get out of my house." I call the cops and they've got a fake piece of paper that says this is my house. Like this stuff is happening right now all over the country. What do you think should happen? Can I show them my mortgage? They have a fake piece of paper. Who does the cop believe? What happens is
Then it goes to trial.
it becomes a civil matter, not a criminal matter. If it was a criminal matter, cops could boot out the squatters right away. It's not. It's a civil matter. That takes longer than 30 days. It's a problem. It's a major problem that they have any rights at all.
Lock your doors, everybody. Lock your doors.
Lock your
They
doors.
could break in.
Really?
They can break in and take up residence. It's very, talk to people. If you know anybody who has rentals or just pay attention, it's a problem. And it shouldn't be. So what's happening now is now that it's gotten big enough, because they get good at it, now they know, draw up fake lease agreements. Don't just move in and take up residence, because then it's going to take 3 months to get through the civil court and then you'll be out. Now they just draw up these fake lease agreements or whatever and say, no, it's my house. You're lying. And the cops, they can't prove anything. It's not a criminal thing. So Georgia has now passed some legislation that says we're making it criminal. As the second we can prove that your agreement's fake or you don't have any documentation or whatever, like it's going to be within 24 hours and you're out. By then your house is damaged or your apartment's damaged or whatever. So think about people who rent apartment buildings and stuff like that. They stop paying rent or whatever. Once they break that contract, like it's not even 24 hours. It's you broke the contract, that's it. Get out. You're done. If they say no, you have to start the civil process of getting them removed, and it takes months. It's messed
I would
up.
say if you're going to do that, talking about the Georgia thing of making it criminal, I would say you need to make the punishment bad enough that people don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because
So
I feel
here's
like that's the only way you can make people not want to do
a
stuff.
deterrent. Yes.
You
So
make
here's
it
what they
bad
got.
enough.
They got House Bill 1017 says squatters, and this is a paraphrase on the article I'm reading on Blaze Media. No more freeloading. No more free rides. No more fraud on the paperwork. If you falsify documents and you get caught, you're going to jail. So that's the deterrent you're talking about. Whereas until you make it a criminal thing, it's all a civil thing, and you got free time to stay there until they actually remove you, and you're still not going to jail.
I mean, I think if you're breaking into people's houses and then claiming that it's yours and you actually get away with it, or even if you like people are like believing you that it's your house and somehow the cops figure out that it's not your house, I think you got to have life in jail because who
Life in prison.
I mean,
I would say that was.
I don't want them back in my neighborhood again.
It's messed up.
If
really
it's
messed up.
this bad and if you damage the property and you get caught, prison.
Yeah.
I think if you don't damage it, if you're just staying there, then yeah, that's a jail thing. Or
Jail. Okay.
Extended jail period.
Sure.
But if you are damaging the property, you either pay the damages tenfold,
which they have no money, so
Yeah.
they can't pay. It's just like getting into a car accident with someone who doesn't have insurance.
Yeah.
What are you going to sue them for? They
Isn't that
don't have
illegal?
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's happening is it's like people on active duty or whatever. They're serving the military. Their houses are uninhabited. I mean, their stuff's in there. They come home, somebody's in there, or whatever. Or it's people, renters don't leave and stuff like that. So it's something you guys will probably be made aware of. It's a big issue that I'm following because it's just not right. And I wanted to see it. Yeah. Okay. So there, kind of pushed your boundaries a little bit. You guys know, you're young Midwestern kids. You know right from wrong.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, this is wrong, but yet it's a trending fad, and it's happening more and more. So, all right, we're just passing the hour mark, so we're going to finish with this. Harrison Butker, and this pains me. This pains me to praise a Kansas City Chief, being a Raiders fan, and I believe he's Catholic. So we disagree on some doctrine
Benedictine
stuff.
College.
Yeah, Benedictine College. And he gave this commencement speech, and he was promoting family values and a lot of good things. He said nothing hurtful, nothing harmful, but he did make the point to tell the females. He's like, right now you're probably thinking about using your degree, moving up in the world, promotions you're going to get. And then he talked about his personal life, and he said actually the most fulfillment you can get is fulfilling your God-given role as a woman, as a wife, and possibly a mother someday if you're lucky enough to have kids. That will bring you the most fulfillment in life. He wasn't saying chasing a career is bad or anything like that, but he was just saying God designed men and women for a certain purpose, and that's where we get contentment. That's where we get fulfillment. The other stuff is just kind of temporary. So I kind of wanted to know maybe what you guys, because I only disagreed with a couple things he said, and it kind of surprised some people. But I was like, when you listen to the whole speech, there is a couple things that I don't agree with. But overall, I'm like, this was a good speech, and he got a lot of hate for it. People, I think there was a survey going around trying to say, get Chiefs, you need to fire this guy.
No.
Because of that, like he was speaking Catholic values at a Catholic college commencement ceremony. Why would they
And
fire
you're going to
him?
fire him?
The people that were at the whatever commencement that got mad at it, you're going to a Catholic college and they're shocked that they haven't heard any of that before.
No, the kids themselves weren't mad. It's outside media and stuff. No, I don't think I've heard anything from the college.
Because I mean, it'd be stupid if you're a kid that got mad at it when they're talking about your beliefs.
No, it wasn't the kid. Yeah, no, that was all fine. If he had gone to if he went to University of Iowa and gave that speech, they probably would have had some walkouts or whatever. But no, this was outside media, outside people with obviously different worldview, and they just thought it was very, very just bad and Stone Age type stuff, and I was like, I think you missed the context of his message.
I'm all to go with speaking your beliefs and religion, and a lot of people don't get that.
Right.
Like all the people that aren't Catholic that saying that was bad, they don't have any idea what the Catholic faith is all about.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have the right to say that it's wrong. I mean, if a Catholic person says that it's wrong and they didn't respect it or approve with it, they could have a word. But the people that have no idea what he was even saying or their beliefs, I think
they weren't his target audience.
Yeah.
Those outsiders. What do you think, Zach?
I think he was in the right.
Okay.
I know we talked about it. I was actually sitting through study hall. I have a TA for teacher assistant, so I will go sit in the music room during my study halls. One of my teachers brought it up to me. I didn't know what it was. I hadn't heard about it. I didn't know anything that was going on with it until I was told about it. So you know what? I said, you know what? Before I say anything, before I make an assumption or make my opinion, I'm going to watch the speech.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
So I watch the speech. I come back and I'm like, you know what? And my teacher said that she didn't really, or they didn't really agree with what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought that everything he said was, or pretty much the stuff he said about becoming a wife, they said that is assuming that you should do that, or assuming that you shouldn't fulfill your career. I'm like, no, that's not what he's saying.
No?
He's saying that to his personal belief is that the most fulfilling thing that you can have as a woman is becoming a wife and having children.
Yeah.
Which, from what I've heard, and from what I would, assume, probably right. Because I've heard from a lot of people that the best thing that they've gone through is having a kid. In fact, probably our favorite teacher of all time, Mrs. Fife, just had a baby not too long ago. She said she loves that boy to death.
Yep.
And and honestly, she said before she left our school that, we were the two sons she never had.
Aw.
Like,
nice.
To us, she was like our second mom.
Yeah.
We
Mommy
had
Fife.
yeah.
So you would agree, like, you could see more fulfillment in her having a kid and looking at that than maybe that college degree and becoming a teacher. And
Isn't she Catholic? I could be completely wrong here.
I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and make assumptions of what.
I think it's just the way he designed us.
Honestly, I feel like the way that people look at your different perspectives of church, especially around here with Catholic and Lutheran and Baptist, I don't think it's kind of like, it's the same thing. It's the same principles, just in a little different. There's little differences between everything. Sure. But in reality, it's all kind of the same. And obviously, I know there's going to be some passion out there probably say I'm wrong because of some technicalities. Yeah. But to me, as a general perspective, it kind of seems the same. Okay. Yeah, obviously, it's the same principles. We all believe that Jesus Christ was born on this earth to save us from our sins, died on the cross for those sins, resurrected after 3 days, went to heaven. He will eventually come again to judge the living and the dead. Yeah. And even in the Apostles' Creed that us Lutherans say at church every Sunday, we believe in the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and the life everlasting.
Okay.
Amen.
Okay. We say it, and we say that. I said that at CLS, I say it at St. Matthew's. It's all the same principles. So, coming back to what he said, I think what he said was right. Okay. And I'm not saying that you can't have your own perspective. If you don't want to have kids, if you want to go be successful and have a career, by all means, go right ahead. But if that is what you're looking at, probably will be fulfilling. And he's speaking off of his personal belief.
Yeah, he was talking about him and his wife.
You have to think about that, because I think a lot of people, when they saw that, they're like, oh, he's assuming all this, yada, yada, yada. He's telling them they shouldn't do that. No. Yeah. If you listen to what he said, he says, because my personal belief is that, being a wife and having kids is the most fulfilling you can. Yep. Most fulfilling thing you can do. So I think you have to look at it as his personal belief. Yeah. And you don't have to agree with what he believes. Nope. Nobody does. Nope.
To put this in terms, it's like with different Catholic or just any Christian beliefs, it's like if you think that sausage pizza is good and your friend doesn't think that sausage pizza is good, that you can't just completely diss them and call them whatever names and completely disload them from your life. Yeah. But that's pretty much the same with like Catholic beliefs.
Put it in better terms, Caleb likes the Vikings. I don't.
Does that make us, pizza is good.
Does that make us not friends? No, we're still friends. We like to talk about. You like the Raiders. We both like the Seahawks. Doesn't mean we're not friends. We're still cool. Yeah. We're friends. We have our beliefs. Yeah. You believe the Raiders are the best team in the NFL. We believe the Seahawks are the best team in the NFL.
I believe the Ravens are the best team in the NFL.
Okay, well, biasness. But I believe Tory Taylor's the best punter or / football player of all time. You know what? That's my belief.
Right. So, to kind of wrap it up here, I've got a future female guest coming on. Her and her husband are coming on, and we just did a pre-meeting, and we talked about this a little bit because that's something maybe they wanted to talk about. And she went to college, got the high-paying degree, full-on deal.
Doctorate?
And she said, like, what
Doctorate.
What Harrison Butker said, she found to be true. She did the college, she got the degree, got the big high-paying job, all that stuff. When she started having kids and, married and having kids, like, that did bring her more joy, more fulfillment. It just does. It feels good to be successful, but having a marriage and family like that, there's something more to that, and that's all Harrison Butker was trying to say. I follow one guy on American Family Radio, 88.9. Really good show. This guy down south, he grew up in New Orleans. I hear him talk all the time. He's a fast-talking black guy. I love the way he talks. I think he raps a little bit. And when he comes on the radio, but I think he raps under a different name. His name's Abraham Hamilton III. When he comes on his radio show every day, he says, because it's in the afternoons, he goes, I understand most of you except he's talking this real energetic, like you can just think Southern church black pastor type voice. He goes, I understand most of you are probably driving home from your part-time job where you generate an income, and you are heading home to your full-time job as husband, wife, parent. That's your full-time job. Your part-time job is where you go to work 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week. That is secondary. You know what I mean? And he tries to drive home. He goes, forget about the White House. What's going on in the White House is not as important as what's going on in your house.
Because you only spend 8 to 12 hours a day at your job.
That's right.
And you spend the other 20 to some hours, or like 15 hours a day, at your house.
That's right.
Doing your thing.
That's right.
Sleeping. You know,
it's more important.
Yeah.
Or sleep until 11:30 or whatever.
Riker. You gotta remember, it all differs from person to person.
Right.
No two people are gonna have the exact same beliefs and opinions and all this stuff.
Nope.
Something's gonna be different about everybody.
That's right.
And at that point, you just gotta accept it.
That's right. Agree to disagree or whatever, but you don't gotta have the guy fired. You don't gotta. The city of Kansas City on Twitter, I guess, released his public address, released his home address publicly.
What?
What are you doing?
Harrison Butker's home address?
Yep. The city of, not the team, Kansas City Chiefs, because I think I misheard that right away. Yeah, if you Google that, I'm pretty sure the city of Kansas City released that. And I'm like, why? What are you doing?
How?
Now he's going to get death threats and all this stuff.
He ain't going to get death threats. He's got people showing up at his house.
Right. And so just to be fair to the whole situation, so people don't think, like, the two parts I didn't agree is that he mentioned something about he hopes to attain salvation through their marriage, and the Bible's clear. Like, you are saved by grace through faith. The moment you put your faith in, like what you said, Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection, when you repent of your sin, there is no work. You don't, unless he misspoke, he said something about attaining salvation through his marriage, and that's more like works-based type stuff. I was like, you lost me there. And then he talked about hopefully as they grow together, becoming saints. When you read the Bible, as soon as you become a believer in Jesus Christ, you're considered a saint. It's not, some lofty ideal only reserved for some people. A believer in Christ, someone destined for heaven, a forgiven sinner, you are now a saint. Mm-hmm. It's that simple. And that's about it. So, guys, I think we just proved young people can have opinions on more serious topics. I hope you learned a little bit about squatters' rights. But I knew the Harrison Butker thing. I knew that'd be fun. I wanted to get your guys' take on it. And I'm just telling you, it is true. I was a complete punk in high school, wanted nothing serious with my high school girlfriend, and she just nagged at me and hung on to me, and I thank God she did, because God finally got a hold of me. Like, not that you guys probably are impressed by my basement or anything like this, but to me, the life we've built,
tag team title.
Yeah, the kids we got, the life we've built, like, it's priceless, man. I'm very thankful. Harrison Butker's right. Like, family is definitely where it's a relationship with God first through Jesus, and then family. That's what is up.
I got one question.
Sure.
So, if you remember back when we were in 7th grade, you called this was back in the era where Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime was awful.
Yeah.
And you called into the Dan Patrick Show.
Yeah, I did.
And said that our Thursday Night Football games were better than Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime.
Oh, they were.
100%.
They were.
We once ran a QB sneak for 23 yards for a touchdown against Dike New Hartford in a rainy game where it was like one-score game the whole time, and you're on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
What compelled you to call in?
Oh, I listened to Dan Pat. I used to, when I was on the shop floor, I'd listen to him every day. Now that I'm in the office, I don't really listen to him as much. But yeah, I'd listen, and I was like, hey, what's it hurt? What's a shot? I've been on a couple different times. But yeah, that was by far the best one.
I found that clip, and I was like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I can insert it on this episode. I've got the video saved and everything. Yeah, I'll insert it right here.
I need that clip. That clip is...
Yeah, I can send it to you. It was cool. I texted a few people while I was on hold, Ben Hogan and a couple others.
I'm on the Dan Patrick Show.
Listen, I'm on hold right now.
I'm on the Dan Patrick Show.
Bubba in Iowa. Hi, Bubba.
Hey, DP.
Hey.
I agree with you guys 100%. Thursday Night Football has been trash lately, but I'll tell you, there is a savior, and it is your local junior high football team on Thursday nights. I've been watching ours for the last 6 weeks, and that has been Thursday Night Football for me. These boys and these coaches have been putting on a clinic. Compared to what I did in junior high, these kids can run, pass, tackle. They're on another level, so I got to give a shout-out to the Wapsie Valley Warriors for 2 years undefeated. Great effort. Coach Hogan, Coach Reese, Coach Mathers, Coach Jeans, and all them little Warriors, and Coach Monk. Awesome job.
Thank you, Bubba. Thank you. Thank you. It's about time somebody gave them a shout out on national radio. Yes, Mark.
It's gonna be my best of the weekend.
Yes, Bubba.
Do they score more points than the Iowa football
Yeah.
team?
Whoa. Probably. Yeah, Paul.
Do these youngsters play on Thursday night? Is the
I
game
think it
broadcast?
sounds like that.
Listen, I will kid you not. And then you guys kind of showed up in 8th grade or whatever, and ninth
Then
grade, whatever.
We finally lost.
If you guys make good choices, work your butts off in the weight room and conditioning, hold each other accountable, and don't get big heads, like, man, you guys can go. You can go far. You've got the coaches to do it. It's gonna be fun to watch.
My goal coming into junior high and now coming into high school, I have one goal for my high school career, and that is to win a state football title. I want to bring I want to help this team, this football program, bring a state title back. To Wapsie Valley for the first time since 2012.
There you go. You hear that, Dwayne? I know Dwayne listens. Coach Foster.
I want to help with that. No matter what it is, no matter what I have to do, I will do anything to get that back here because I want to have that. It's like something that I think everybody in Fairbank, Reedland.
The cool thing is it's not just on your class. It's also on the class above you and the class below. It's going to take all of you guys. It really is. You know, a handful of talented kids. Lots of schools have a handful of talented kids. It takes way more than that. And then it takes hard work. And then it takes staying healthy and making good. It takes a lot. But you don't put in the work. Let the results be what they are, man. So, well, guys, I got to thank you for coming on. I think it's exactly what I wanted to kick off the summer. I want to tell you guys, keep up the good work and everything you're doing, baseball, broadcasting, all that stuff. Your faith, definitely keep that going. You'll find nothing more important. I'm telling you, I lived high school without that side of it and caused a lot of pain and heartache. I'm telling you.
Forgiven people forgive. That's what my pastor says.
Forgiven people forgive. Oh man, that's Pastor Rabari. I like that guy.
What?
I do.
That's what I.
Forgiving people forgive.
No, not
No.
forgiving. Forgiven. People forgive. That's right.
Oh,
Who are we not to
okay.
forgive people once we've been forgiven? That is a biblical truth. Rabari knows what's up. That's for sure. Let's see here. Okay, but in my last bit of advice, enjoy your summer. Enjoy your summer, just not too much, if you know what I mean. I don't think I got to worry about you guys. So,
Of course not.
to the audience, this was a lighter episode with some younger guys, so I'm not going to give some serious closing monologue like I usually do. This was our summer kickoff episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's make this summer a good one, all right? Find some things to do this summer that bring you joy and that are good for you, okay? These guys have hobbies. They have things they do that they love and they enjoy, okay? One new thing my family has started doing, outdoor movies. We hang up a screen and put a projector on that screen, and we just did one last night. Outdoor movie. I think it was Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days.
Nice.
Hey, I have something to say. If you listen to the Talk Tribe podcast, if you listen to our broadcasting episodes, Riker and I have a famous outro that we do. You know what it is, Riker?
Yep.
Have you heard it?
I think so. I think I've heard it every time.
You tell us when. We'll give you the.
All right, you guys go ahead and insert it now.
Okay.
This is the way Zack and Ryker would sign off.
All right. We thank you for listening to this episode of the What Is Up podcast. I'd like to thank everybody for helping us along today. Our main producer is Bubba Seaman. To the three guys on the microphones here today, Bubba Seaman, Riker Oberly, and Zach Bavers. And until next time, go
Warriors!
Oh, I missed that. All right. See, guys, you got to find things that you enjoy like that. All right. Find ways to let go of the stresses of life and enjoy it. But if you're looking for something deeper than that, a little more meaningful advice or direction, let me help you. You know exactly what I'm going to say. You got to look up. Okay? Not going to get super deep here, but God promises to meet us right where we're at, whatever we're going through, if we just come to Him. Okay? I'm not talking about an hour on Sunday. All right? I'm talking about a relationship like these guys were talking about with the Creator and the Savior of the world. It's very simple. I'm going to hit you with one verse, Romans 10:9. If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you will be saved. It ain't enough just to believe that God is real, guys. If that's what you've been taught, you've been misled. It's not enough just to go to church or put money in the plate or pray prayers. God wants a relationship with us. But the choice is up to us. Okay? That's it. We can't earn it and we don't deserve it, but He still wants us. Do you want Him? Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all of your support. I hope you enjoyed this special summer kickoff episode with Zack and Ryker. We got a lot of good stuff coming up this summer, so stay tuned. Lord willing, I'll talk to you on the next one.